Thank you. It's really wonderful to be here. Tonight I'm going to go through some of what I want to call the contraceptive myths. We're going to be cracking the contraceptive myths here. The pill in 2010 celebrated its 50th birthday. It came out in the late 1950s, and people put 1960 as the date of the invention of the pill. Before that was largely the condom and the diaphragm. And so the pill was something new that came on the market in 1960s, and really the culture and the world has never been the same since, right? The changes that have happened since contraception came on the scene are absolutely epic making. The subtitle here of Time magazine cover says, "So small, so powerful, and so misunderstood." And I hope to give us a lot of understanding about what the pill and other forms of contraceptives have done. First, let's get a notion of what the expectations were, that people thought the changes were going to be unbelievably beneficial results. They thought it was going to ensure sexual freedom, that people were going to be able to have sex whenever they wanted to, and everybody was going to be just unbelievably happy. Right? You're going to have access to sex whenever you wanted to. There were going to be fewer unwed pregnancies. There were going to be fewer abortions. There were going to be better marriages, because you could test many partners. You could have many sexual partners before marriage and pick out the one you like best, or you could cohabit and test out a relationship so you didn't have to rush into marriage to have sex. And within marriage, you could have sex without the fear of pregnancy, so obviously marriages would be better and stronger and more long-lasting. These are the expectations of what contraception would bring. And then, of course, people thought the world was overpopulated, and they thought we were going to be able to control overpopulation by widespread distribution of contraception. Now, these are the contraceptive's real-life consequences, all of which I'm going to at least touch upon tonight. I'm going to demonstrate, I think, that it's been bad for male-female relationships, very bad. It's been bad for the health of women. It facilitates sex outside of marriage, which I think is bad for men, women, children, and the culture. It increases the incidence of sexually transmitted diseases. It leads to unwanted pregnancy and single parenthood. It causes and leads to abortion. It contributes to divorce. It contributes to poverty and social chaos. It's harmful to the environment, and it paves the way for same-sex unions. I think all of these things can very legitimately be attributed to, in great part, to the presence and use of contraception. Right, but first it's a good idea for us to get an idea about how does contraception actually work? What does it really do? Some of you, this might be too much information for some people, but really it's information everybody should have. This is one slide that shows 4 different rows that show different things about a woman's menstrual cycle. Women are actually born with all the eggs we're ever going to have. It could be a couple 100,000, maybe up to 1 million or so. And then we have about 30 years of reproductive life, where every month we ripen and release generally 1 egg. All right, 1 egg a month, even though we got hundreds of thousands. Of course, men are spectacularly more fertile than females. So women are relatively infertile. Men could beget a child any time of the day, any time of the month. But women are only fertile, actually, for 12 hours every month. A woman releases an egg once a month. That egg lives in her body for only 24 hours and can be fertilized for only 12 hours. Now, if you look at the slide here, you've got sort of 2 surges of hormones. At the top, we have the hormones that help a woman ripen and release an egg. All right, and you'll notice it peaks mid-month, a huge shoot up somewhere around day 11, 12, 13, 14. A woman is going to ovulate. If she has a sexual intercourse in the vicinity of the time that she ovulates, right, she may get pregnant. If she doesn't get pregnant, that egg dies within 24 hours of being released. Right? And so from that mid-month to day 14, you'll notice that the hormones drop suddenly. Right? So when they drop suddenly, that means the egg has come and the egg is gone, and a woman cannot get pregnant for the rest of the month. Now you look at, there's a second set of hormones on the 3rd row. You'll also notice those peak right about mid-month, and then they stay up and sort of vacillate through the rest of the month. And beneath that row, you see what is actually the endometrium, which is the surface of a woman's uterus, all right? And that endometrium is growing so that when a new little human being, a little embryonic human being, travels down the mother's fallopian tube and implants in the endometrium, and that's where the baby will live for the next 9 months of its life. And it's attached to its mother through the endometrium.